going to make a transition into our artist showcase now. So we have Miss Natrice Miller. Let's go ahead and get her up to the stage.
Here I am.
Yes.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm glad you all reached out to me for this. FAMU is just everything. I wouldn't be anywhere in my career without FAMU. They really set the tone. So shout out to FAMU, of course. Got my shirt on, as you see. We got Humphreys and the whole crew. You get all that. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to chat a little bit about my career. I'm 2005 graduate, School of Journalism, Graphic Communication, and been a photographer freelancing for about 16 years now. With this talk, I didn't want to just sit here and talk. I mean, I'm going to talk about myself, but I wanted to be a little conversational too. So I also bought another 2005 J School grad with me, Tyler Tyson. He started off WANM. He was Poseidon on the radio. And from there, he's gone on to LA to do TV production. He's worked for Dash Radio. What else? Producing for NAACP, and he's going to be on National Black Television Network coming up with a new show called Talk It Up. So I kind of want to, in true FAMU fashion, you always got to bring another Rattler on with you. So I just want to bring him on with me so we can have a little conversation and chat it up about art, photography, traveling, like pretty much how FAMU has set the tone for where I am in my career. And I'm really excited because South by Southwest kind of represents all of those different things in media, film, photography, music, all of that. So all of those elements have been in my career for all of these years. So this is just really perfect. So, I'm excited for us to
Thank you for having me. I'm always, anytime to connect with a FAMU alum as well as you all, it's time to do it. So
yeah, man.
Talk to us about photography. How did you even get into photography in the first place?
I learned the darkroom when I was in high school, but I didn't have the big passion for it. I learned the darkroom and all the elements of it, but FAMU is what really set the tone for me. I did writing at the FAMU, and of course, and then Journey is what really set it all off. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit of photography with you all too as we chat. Journey is just what really kind of struck up the passion here. Let me see. Let me do whiteboard here. Advance.
To get to your files, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. How do we get to the screen? Just a screen share. Basic, advanced.
Is it in
Jean May, help us out.
When you do that.
How do you, let me see, share slides as a virtual background, computer, audio, video, content from second camera.
Can you share your screen and pull up your photos from your folder? Go to your folder and pull it up.
Okay, let's see.
See if that works.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Apologize for the technical difficulties.
Listen, you know how we do it.
It wouldn't be a Zoom.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, this kind of stuff. Let me see. Share. Okay.
There you go. Or not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna keep talking. With Journey, I started at Journey. That's where it really kind of set the tone for me. I was the photo editor at Journey for my senior year. And from there, it just really connected with me, kind of the power of photography with storytelling, being able to put my images with, these articles and really create something there. I was a broadcast major, but early on, they taught us the importance of convergence, being able to do a little bit of everything. Social media wasn't what it was back then, 2001 to 2005. So they prepared us for that, to know, technology is going to move fast. You need to know how to write. You need to know how to do video. You need to know how to put all of this online, and make it digital. So they really set the tone with that, with convergence, and helping me with that. So Journey was really the start that got me where I just really fell in love with photography in that way.
So at Journey, is that where you figured out what type of photographer you were going to become, or did you already know what type of photography you wanted to?
I like portraits, and back then that was really what I wanted to do. I want to shoot for Rolling Stone or something one day. So back then I was shooting, a lot of the modeling troops and doing little photo shoots and things like that. And that's like the norm now.
Right, that's everyday life.
Yeah, so that's how I really started things off. Just shooting for Journey, just doing my own stuff, as well as the modeling troops and things like that. You got it?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Can y'all see? Share.
Yeah. Hold on. I got something for y'all. I got a throwback for y'all.
Oh, she has the actual. We were trying to put it up on the screen for you all to see, so that you could see the cover that we were talking about. But technical difficulties, sometimes you got to improvise.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all remember these covers of Journey. Shot these 2004, 2005 year. And this is what really struck up the love for photography. Of course, you all remember the man Soul Train. This was one of the hardest photo shoots of my entire life, trying to shoot Soul Train. Journey was it.
Oh, you guys show them the picture.
Yeah.
This is the picture that really.
Yeah, and it was just work back then, but I was able to shoot that iconic picture. I don't know for those remember that picture of Soul Train. Here she's showing up. So that really struck up that love, just being able to connect with people and tell those stories. You see what she's saying?
Yeah, she said to hit the green button.
We got former editor-in-chief in the building. What's up?
Oh, also, if you all have questions, please hit the Q&A, and we will, of course, jump in and take your questions now in real time.
Okay.
Talk about being a polymath. So for those of you that don't know, polymath is a person that has a wide range of knowledge about various subjects. And I feel like you are very much so a polymath, because you did broadcast, you did print, you did photography.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it all. So talk about how was that intentional, or is that just how
it wasn't initially? Everything was always more so about photography. My first job out of college was working as a graphic designer for the Miami Times. And then shortly after that, I got into freelancing, but I just always had an interest in a lot of things. Photography's always been at the core, but the photography is mixed in with my other interests, has allowed me to branch out. So it's like I'm doing portraits, but then, I'm traveling all the time. And then from there, start a travel website, but I'm doing the writing and interviewing people, but I'm also doing fine art photography and showing in galleries and museums and things like that. So what started off as me just wanting to do these portraits grew into something else. And then of course, getting into filmmaking and everything now. So that wasn't the intention. But I would say in the past 3 to 4 years, it's been very intentional on kind of designing what I want my life and my career to look like. And I love the flexibility of being able to be free creatively. It's a grind.
Tell them about it. Tell them about it.
FAMU taught me to grind. Professor Jones got us right with that in J school. Shout out Professor Jones.
Come on, Kenneth Jones.
But I think that wasn't the intention, but it ended up turning out that way. And then, everyone uses this word pivot now, but when you are freelancing and having your own business, it's like the constant pivot of figuring out how to, stay afloat. What can I offer to clients? What can I do to stay creative and, just not getting the monotony of things.
Right.
So it wasn't intentional, but it's very intentional now.
Right.
Yeah, to just keep expanding. I want to be the Debbie Allen of art and photography and media.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah,
there.
it's like
Because she does it all.
She does it all. Dancing, choreography is the core, but she's able
Creative
to produce
directing.
and creative directing, right, and everything. So that's kind of where it's at now.
Well, you mentioned it. Tell them about your travel website.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they know now, but there's in 2011, I got on the road and traveled with the Universal Circus. To be honest, very transparent, things were rough. Photography was killing me at the time. I said, I need to do a little something. So my uncle got me a job on the road and I traveled to almost 40 cities in a year. And that kind of struck up the travel bug in me. So after that, even just little trips, I started taking trips and everything. And I just really fell in love with it. And then later on, I just really started going on international trips. I love food. Like someone on here said, he's a hotel snob. I'm a hotel snob too. So I said, how can I use my love of travel and food and translate that into use photography to translate that into information that can help other people,
right.
So really, yes, my love of it, but I want to share the information with people. So if they know, oh, I'm going to New York. Oh, here's some dope restaurants to check out in New York. Or, oh, I'm going to Africa. Oh, this is the spot, you want to check out. So once again, it was just me, that umbrella of photography and using it to branch out and, be able to talk to all these amazing chefs and, interview Oprah Winfrey chef, the former chef, things like that. And, use the journalism skills to pull it back in with the writing. So that's how that came about. That's a little bit of my travel stuff. I have a little bit of art here on the walls, but it's just that love of everything. Photography is always the core, but it branches out in other ways. And I just find a way to keep things interesting.
Well, you kind of mentioned this so if you guys follow her travel site in any of your photography, you always seem to go off the beaten path. Like you do some touristy stuff time to time, but what you document is like the Black experience.
Yeah.
So was that intentional? How did that come about? Like, how did you talk to them about your journey in documenting the Black experience?
It just happened naturally. I mean, honestly, were you able to?
Yeah.
At Universal Circus. I'm laughing at the comments. I'm always here for the comments. The Black experience.
It's not in any of these places, right?
Click back over there. The Black experience, everything I shot's always been the Black experience. Even if when I just started out doing portraits, like 90% of my clients were Black people. And of course, I was told, you need to diversify, put more white people in there. And, I said, well, are y'all telling the white photographers to do that? To be fair. So I guess I've always documented Black people, but as I've grown in photography, although I love good portrait work and all, I wanted to do more. Like, how can I tell our stories that aren't just tied to oppression and racism and everything? So those are important, but we got a whole culture, with all types of music, food, dance, everything, a culture that most people probably don't care to know about, They
just aren't exposed to it.
They're not exposed to it. So I just kind of, I guess once again, kind of pivoted, went in the direction of using photography to tell those stories, to talk about, the Black debutantes. I'm doing a series about Black debutantes. You weren't able to get this.
I wasn't. Share? Every time it comes up, it takes me back to this, and it doesn't give us the option to highlight it. So that's why I get.
So sorry. Are you working with a laptop or a tablet?
iMac.
Okay. When you pull up your screen share, do you see the whiteboard option?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what happens? It just doesn't do anything?
Well, it said something about the system preferences, and I was trying to allow it, and it's just not even letting me click on it.
Okay.
And once you hit the share, the green button, it takes you to the next screen where it then asks about the whiteboard. And then from there, when you still click OK, it opens up a security and privacy window. And that's where we are kind of stuck.
We're stuck. Okay. I was trying to troubleshoot with the NAA technology team, but that's as far as we got.
Yeah, it's like, this is so like Teddy Riley versus.
I feel like this is Teddy Riley versus Babyface, right? It's all good, you know.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that it?
is that it?
Or is that somebody else? Is that me?
No, that's technology.
Oh, okay. I got excited. All right. But yeah, like I said, the Black experience, it's just important for me to document that. Not even for people now, but for the generations later on, so they could say, oh, no, we were okay, and we were doctors or attorneys, or we had fun, and we were debutantes, and we wore gowns. You know, we had a rich, beautiful life as Black people. We're not just painted this one way, you know? So it's just really important in my personal work to talk about that.
How do you find, I know she loves the question, that's just out of nowhere. How do you find art that makes people stop and think? Because what I have found in your art since the beginning to now, I always find myself just stopping and like trying to process, like, what does this mean? What was she trying to say? It's not just, oh, a cute picture. Mm-hmm. There's always so much to dissect in these photos. How do you?
I don't know.
It's amazing. Y'all have to check out her work.
When you're shooting, you're shooting. Mm-hmm. You know what's important to you, and you know your eye gets a little better after you do it for a while, and you know everything appeals to people differently. What might stop you in your tracks may not stop someone else. Right. You know what I mean? So you know, art is just kind of relative to the person.
I got you.
At hand.
So since we're talking about it, do you have work to showcase, work for purchase? Where's all of your work, or where can people get more?
Yeah, of course, you know, and I have shows that's for purchase. I have currently have prints from, it's called Collection Afrique, from my trips to Africa. I have that on my website on Natrice Miller. .com. You could check that out, and you know, anything that catches your eye, you know, we can work a little something out.
Come on and work it out. Well, what do you have going on now? Like, because I know you're always in the mix somewhere. You had some DNC stuff at one point. You got like some pictures of Clinton and Obama and Janelle Monáe. Like,
yeah, that's back in the day, but still, yeah, just right now, I have a few shows that are online, you know, small gallery here, South by Southeast, actually, a gallery here. I have some stuff there. I have an upcoming show at a gallery space called The Bakery here in Atlanta. Starting the 27th, I have my work showing in New York on Rockefeller Center. It's a project called The Flag Project. Okay. And it's pretty much photography, flying on flags around Rockefeller Center. So I have, work there. So we'll be in Rockefeller Center.
When is that?
March 27th through April 30th.
Tell me a little bit, can we stick on that a little bit? Because you just kind of brushed over that, like, oh yeah, I got this piece that's going to be a part of the Rockefeller Flag Project. That's all. Like, what?
No, like through the Aperture Foundation, which is a photography publisher, they're trying to do stuff to kind of keep people's spirits up amidst these times. Last year they did the Flag Project, dealing more on the graphic design side. This year they wanted to do photography. So, you know, they look for photography, look for some submissions and holler at your girl. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then of course, I'm getting into filmmaking. So I've been doing a lot of short films about the Black experience right now, focusing on the experiences of Black women. And I'm really interested in micro documentaries. Like my patience is low, like, 2 hours, I'm not editing that. But I do
15 minutes is a stretch.
Yeah, it's a stretch. But I like to give information in small amounts of time. So I'm actually working on a couple of like micro documentaries, you know, like 10 minutes and under. Yeah, so filmmaking, something that I've always loved, video and music videos and things like that. So I knew I always wanted to get into directing, and I love editing. So it just kind of came naturally. Like, I love photography, but I'm always saying, how can I use visuals and imagery in a different way?
Mhm.
You know, whether it's how I display it on a textile or a frame using video. So, you know, I'm really into filmmaking and short films now.
Let's stay there for a second, because you know, broadcast and television, that's kind of my area. But I found I'm great with video,
Mhm.
horrible with pictures. I need so much more help and guidance and direction when it comes to taking pictures for others, as well
Yeah.
as myself being in the photo. So
Yeah.
how would you describe those two contrasts, like as a photographer versus videographer director? What's the difference?
I feel like video takes a lot more, and that's not downplaying photography, because it depends on what type of photographer, but there's really no room for error with dealing with video and filmmaking. So you really have to be on point. You have to have your lighting right, the sound. You can have this beautiful film, but if the sound is messed up, it's useless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think video and film takes a lot more, but it's actually, for me, it's actually slightly more rewarding right now, because you see those moving images and you know you're putting in that much more.
Right.
And just having to really bring out a lot in people. With directing, you really have to be able to guide and help people see
Mhm.
your vision and pull something out of them.
Right.
Because with the photo, you're guiding, but because it's a still image, you know, you can kind of grab something
Right. You're gonna get
sometimes.
something out of
Yeah,
this.
but video, you're gonna really see that real emotion or lack thereof. So you really have to pull a lot
Gotcha.
out of people when it comes to that.
Okay. Well, I know you talked about the project that you have, and you gave us a little bit about what's coming up next. Tell us about FAMU, because we talked about it at the beginning. We talked about being a polymath. How did FAMU really prepare you for everything that you have going on? Because y'all just don't know. She has so much going on. I thought I was busy. I
I'm
look
doing
at you,
too
I'm like,
much.
how do you
Doing
do all
too
this?
much. I don't.
So how did
Everybody.
FAMU get you ready for all of this? And did they play a part?
They played a huge part. They're tough on you, but it's like that tough love, you know, like we were talking about earlier, like in broadcast journalism, at the time, the TV news class was one of the toughest ones. And Professor Jones, you had to deliver a minute package every single week. And these are real stories where you're having to talk to Congress people or senators or people in community.
People
Yeah, you
down
have
for
to chase
interviews.
people down, carry all that equipment.
One man band
One
means
man
you carry all your equipment.
Absolutely, you had to carry all this stuff around. You already have all your other classes, and then he made you do community service. I think what 30 or 40 hours,
yeah.
which it seems like, oh, that's not much, but when you have 15, 18 hours to take, so at the time, and if you didn't do the community service, you would fail. He
Mhm.
said you can get A's and everything, but you would fail. So he really taught the importance of time management. That class alone taught me how to manage my time, because I didn't even have a car. So I had to figure out how am I going to get to downtown Tallahassee, shoot this stuff, edit it, and we couldn't use Final Cut Pro until the end. Deck to deck. Yeah, we had to learn deck to deck the old school way, and he said you had to move up to Final Cut. So I had to really learn how to manage my time, and if you can manage your time, you can do almost
It took some of us longer than
anything.
others. But yes, yes.
Yeah, you can do almost anything. So they really taught the importance of time management, being prepared for anything, being able to step into any room, how to present yourself. You know, they'll tell us at job interviews, it doesn't matter what everyone else has on, you need to have on your suit, you need to be prepared. So they really just taught us how to be prepared, and to be honest, to be prepared for the world that we were stepping in. That isn't always kind to Black people, you know, so they really kept it real with us about that.
So Jimmy Thomas wants to know what's your style? I'm assuming style of photography.
Yeah, and I hate my screen shares acting
Yeah,
up.
we had some pictures for y'all.
I would say I do
filmmaking.
You know, this is actually really new. I would say I'm a little more experimental. I'm doing a little bit of documentary work, like I said, but I like stuff that's experimental and not so much in this spaced out crazy way, but just the content. One of my short films is called Bestie Slides, and it's really commentary on lost friendship, but I use the idea of the hand games that we used to play, you know, so I like 2-3 minute really short films. So I'll say I'm more on the experimental side because I'm just doing kind of these crazy ideas that come out of my head, but how does it relate to these experiences?
It reminds me of something from my childhood. Like,
Yeah.
This is gonna take y'all way back. Don't judge me. I'm a big kid, but it reminds me of if you used to watch Garfield, and they would have like the regular Garfield cartoons, but then they have these 1 little minute, what they call quickies, these quick cartoon. That's kind of like your films are like these 2 minute, they tell you a lot in this 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're left like, huh, what did I just see?
I like you to kind of think about something. I'm really influenced by music. So how can I use music? I'm only doing original music for all my films. I work with the producer where I tell him these ideas. You know, I was like, so I want an HBCU dancer dancing at a MARTA station. I said, come up with something. You know, so I want everything to be really original and really organic. So I would say I'm more so on the experimental side.
All right, well, Jimmy also asked, are you interested in collaborating with other filmmakers?
Absolutely, because I'm still learning myself. So I think we all can learn from each other and, you know, make things happen. So
absolutely, and submit them to Sundance and all of the other festivals.
Absolutely.
Like, it's almost like, remember when you were in high school and people would tell you, oh, apply to the Ivy League school, no matter what. Any project that you do, you need to be submitting them for award submissions, NAACP Image Awards, Grammys, Sundance. Just submit.
Right.
Because you never know, you can get this nomination and your whole life changes.
Right. That's the plan.
Oh, it's debutante. All right.
Oh, I'm glad you like them. I'm really sorry about the screen share, y'all. I had all of it set up, but you know, FAMU taught you. You just gotta keep it rolling.
What that means, you go over to your Instagram and you can see
some
of these
over
images.
To my Instagram and roll over to natricemiller.com and roll over to the Cultured Lens and check out everything. And follow me on those. Follow me, send me a DM, and I will send you a little gift. I have a postcard pack. I do images of postcards from my travels. So follow me on the Cultured Lens. Send me a DM and I'll send you a little something.
Yeah, come on, Alyssa. We all love a gift.
Oh, let's see. Aurelio. Hey, yo.
What's the most unexpected thing that you saw or shot in Africa? And do you ever get emotional? Did you get emotional while you were in the motherland? And can you give a travel tip for Africa anywhere?
He always have a layered question.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. I can't say I saw anything particularly unexpected in Africa. I hit kind of 4 corners. I did north, south, east, west, Morocco, Kenya, Senegal, and Johannesburg. So I can't say there's anything that particularly shocked me. But I got emotional a couple of times. Like in the most places when I'm shooting, I'm just like, bam, bam, I see something, someone on the street, I'm shooting. And I felt like, I just don't want to get up in their face and shoot because I felt like that's somebody coming in my yard, taking a picture of my baby playing in the yard. So I kind of had that connection like in a way. Zoo mentality. Yeah, like I just couldn't. I got pictures, but it's like, no, I got to talk to, I mean, I do that anyway, but I got to talk to them and it was different. So I shot a lot, but I didn't shoot as much as I thought because the connection was there. Like I didn't want to turn it into, oh, it's Africa. Let's just take pictures. You know, I wanted to shoot stuff to show modern Africa, you know, like what it actually is, not what people want to see. And I would say a travel tip for Africa or anywhere. I love Senegal. More people are going, but it's not one of those spots like most people tend to go to Morocco a lot. I kind of like to go sub-Saharan because I want to see the people that really look like me. Senegal was beautiful, but I would just say be prepared to know that everything doesn't look the way it looks in the United States, you know? So I would say South Africa is the most built up, but like the roads are really bad in Senegal. Like I'm talking about clay, bad flooding in some parts, some are fine, some aren't. So it's like, just keep an open mind and don't go in with the American judgmental, this is raggedy, this looks bad. Like these are people that deal with, they've been stripped for hundreds of years, you know what I mean? So I would say just go in with an open mind and try not to judge. A lot of Americans go into other countries and want things to be the American way, and it doesn't work like that. So I would say that, and try to learn a little bit of the language.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have 1 minute left, so if there's another question, let's get this
I
question.
hope that
in.
answered your question. I was trying to squeeze it in because I know we're at time.
Right. So outside of Africa, is there anywhere else that you want to highlight, or is there anywhere that you would recommend, like you said, that some people might be sleeping on? Because you've been, I swear, to every country in the world.
I think people still sleeping on Africa. To be honest, it has a connotation.
Yeah, I've never been to Senegal at all.
Yeah, it's beautiful. People are beautiful. It's on the water, beaches. Yeah, so I think people are they're getting better, but I think they're sleeping on Africa.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, don't go to the safe places. Get out in the streets.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Miss Natrice. You are just powerful. You are a powerhouse. And I've been like kind of staring at that photo behind you. It is just so cool.
This one?
Yes. And I just love that how it just captured the emotion. And I appreciate that about your style. And I think you're amazing. And I really do love the setup that you had here with your co-host. So thank you, fellow Rattler, for jumping in and assisting. And I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties, but as you said, we make things work. And it just seems like this is just a J school reunion, because the next person we have is Jimmy Thomas, who's also in the J school.
Hey, come on.
I also want to shout out Jerome, who's Houston's president, was the one that actually recommended Miss Natrice.
And I'm gonna say it again, Jerome, thanks for helping me pass economics in 2003. So the whole world